Hello guys, I'm the Kegman. Welcome back to Kegman Plays, and welcome back to the European pub crawl for FM20. So, Artvin Hopperspor. Yeah, we've left them now. I'm going to show you what we've done with Artvin Hopperspor first, and then we'll talk about our new club. We left Artvin Hopperspor last season, or the end of last season. So if you guys remember, we did win the league title in the TFF2. Got promotion, went into TFF1. If you look here, I'm going to get rid of this real quick. If you look here, that's our first place. You'll also see a nice little green speck here. We also got promotion in our first season in the TFF1. Artvin are now a top flight team. Yes, we had a really good run there. I actually do miss them already. We had a fantastic run. We finished on 69 points. Nice. Again, 3 teams, in fact, finished on 69 points. Now, slight issue. I think there may be a slight bug in the game. Now, I want to show you the rules of the league. So it doesn't really matter too much. We got promotion with them. We've done well. We've now moved on. I think we got. I think we may have been duped a little bit here. So league sorting rules. So obviously points first. Then it's results between teams. Now Eskişehirspor, the team who ultimately won the league, they beat us 1-0 at our ground, and then we beat them 2-1 at their ground. So results between teams the same. Goal difference the same. Games won the same. Goals scored, however, we go back, you will see that we scored more goals. So I think that we won the league. The only thing that might be a changing factor here is the Ankara team, who finished on 69 points as well. Now, they scored more goals than both of us. I think we drew and beat them. I don't know how Eskişehirspor done against them. I think they had a loss and a win, if I remember rightly. But I don't know why it's saying that we got second place. I would argue that actually we got first. But who knows? Who knows? So, I mean, by league sorting rules, yeah, I don't know how it works out. But yeah, either way, they got promotion. Now, they are doing pretty poorly since we left, so to give you a quick rundown, they're bottom of the league. They were favourites to go down, and so it's unsurprising. But they are bottom of the league. They got 0 points. They're only 5 games in. There's still a chance they can turn something around, but I doubt it. And they still have a couple of the players we signed. Slepov's there. Arslantes is still there. Claude, the goalkeeper, is still there. Rocha is still there. They've made a few changes. Tancredi, the guy we signed, is their starting striker now. I know who this Defo is. He's the captain. Roussel Defo. They've done all right with him. They've done very well to get him in. Very nice player. Probably not going to be good enough at that level. And Rafael Diaz is supposedly their key player. But that doesn't matter. We've got a new club, so let's get into that. So, new club, Levski Sofia. Yes, we've moved to Bulgaria. Moved to the FBet in Bulgaria, which is the 13th most reputable league in Europe, I believe. We've made a few changes. We're going with a very, very different tactic. We did find ourselves in a bit of a situation when we joined the club, which we'll talk about in a moment. But we're running this tactic. We've got a good bit of money in the bank, 12.23 mil. We had a budget of 873. We've got a remaining 236. I can tell you now, we spent more money than that. We sold some players and moved some money around and stuff. We have signed some fantastic players. Now, this is a 3-star team, so they're a star better than the previous club we were at, Artvin Hopperspor. They're also in, like I say, well, they're now in a similar sort of level of league, but it is a bigger club. More money to spend, more chance of actually doing things. There's a lot of pressure on us to do well at the club. Now, we failed on certain things. We're on a C+. So we failed to get to the UEFA Champions League third qualifying round. We got beaten by Celtic. Now, I'll go into details about that in a moment. We failed to reach the Europa League group stage as well, which, again, I'm going to go into details about in a minute. We are in the Europa Conference League, however, which is now the 3rd tier of European football, which in real life, I believe, is coming into fruition next season. We're challenging for the FBet. We're challenging for the Belgian Cup, which I want us to get to the final for. Might not happen. And there's a few other things going on. They're happy with the high reputation players we signed. They're very pleased that we signed no one over the age of 33. They're happy we're now playing attacking football. I'm not using the youth system so much. There's not much going on there, unfortunately. But let's get into what's been happening so far. So, we joined 2 days before this Champions League game against Celtic. So, don't know the team. Don't know the tactics. Don't know anything about this club. I have 2 days to try and install some sort of tactic in the team. They lose 4-1. We then drew 1-0 with Botev in the league. And then we lost 1-0 to Celtic. So we got knocked out of the UCL. We then drew 1-1 with Ludogorets, which is a great result, honestly, considering the situation. We then played against our countryman, Botev Plovdiv, in the Europa League third qualifying round. Lost 1-0. We then beat Levski Sofia in a derby, 1-0 in the league. Got knocked out, well, we got beaten by Plovdiv again, 2-0 in the Europa qualifier. So we went out to Europa and we got dropped down to the conference. After that, we played Legia Warsaw. So Europa Conference League, best place qualifier. We lost 1-0. You can see where this is going, right? We then lost 1-0 to Plovdiv again in the league. And then we beat Warsaw 2-0. This is when we changed the tactic. Now, the tactic seems to be working thus far. Since we've done this tactic, we drew 1-0 Cherno. We beat Aachen in a 4-0 friendly. Beat Arda 2-0. We beat Utrecht 3-0 in the Conference League groups. We beat Bro 1-0. And then we beat this Nessebar 3-1 in the Cup. Now, Nessebar are the league below us. Not a particularly strong team, but we did put out a weak team for that particular game. We're going to be taking on Sasko Selo in the league. They are 5th in the league at the moment. They're 1 place below us. Now, we've got a lot of games coming up. This is a tactic we are currently using, as I briefly show you. We're playing a 2 centre-back tactic with a ball-winning midfielder in front and some wing-backs. High risk, but the team wants, or the board wants a attacking tactic. Now, this is pretty attacking. We're sending balls over the top. Trying to do our best to get that ball in. I'm actually going to go slightly more direct and bring it down standard as opposed to these very, very long balls. We've got a lower defensive line. It's kind of like a counter-attacking tactic. That's the plan. Not how I particularly like to play, but it's how we're going to have to play. This isn't the team we're going to use. We're going to go ahead and get the first team selection set up. This is the first team. Let me talk you through some of the signings we've made this season. We've got a couple on their way in. We won't worry about those. We'll talk about the main guys we have brought in this season. So this was our first signing here, Heitor, for 600k. I wanted wingbacks, and for 600k, we done really well there. He was end of contract. Well, he would have been end of contract in January. We paid 600k to bring him in early, and I think for 600k, 600 grand, we got ourselves a really good right back. We then picked ourselves up this player here, Alexander Makarov. We're not going to see him. We're selling him. He was a mistake. Ayrton Kugo, we bricked up with 650k. Wanted the left wing back. He's a little bit weak with regards to tackling and marking strength, but otherwise a great left wing back. I then picked up another right wing back because for 425k, Eduardo Rabanel. I just wanted multiple options, so I have issues with squad depth quite often. Bringing him in will give us that squad depth. I brought in Matteo Gabbia as well for 825k, I think it was. So a bit more than I would like to play. This guy can play centre-back, which I obviously am using 2 at the minute. You can also play defensive midfielder. You can also play defensive midfielder as a ball-winning midfielder rather well. Work rate's a little bit low. Bravery's a little bit low. Agility's a little bit low. But ultimately, he's a decent backup to 2 very, very good centre-backs who we'll see in a minute. Jeffster Nunez from Quindío for 250k. Look at this 19-year-old for £250,000. Fantastic signing. He's going to be a shadow striker or an advanced playmaker, as we are using at the moment. He can play there wonderfully. He is second fiddle, however, to Matias Diaz from Defensa y Justicia in Argentina, I believe. So this is Matias Diaz, our 22-year-old attacking mid. Look at that flair for one. Look at the determination. He's quality. He is quality. Well worth. We paid 1.5, I think, and then 2 million over 3 years, which is one of the reasons why we're spending big money this season. But a superb pickup. I then picked up Paniatovic from Zetsu for £1 million, again over 3 years. 22-year-old Serbian midfielder. Good potential ability. Does provide a bit more strength in the midfield than we currently have, or currently had. And then probably my favourite signing we have made, Angelo Maric from Partizan, £1.6 million, straight up. Look at that centre-back. He is an absolute monster. Do need to work on his strength a little bit, and then we're going to start working on his heading and jumping reach. But ultimately, look at him. For £1.6 million, I'm paying 10k a week, nearly. It's a lot more than I'd like to pay. But we got him on a 5-year contract, and he is absolutely wonderful. At a push, he could probably play right back. We don't play right backs. He could be used as a DM, as a ball-winning midfielder, if necessary as well, as he can pass the ball away, which is fantastic. Then we got in a freebie, Muzzolin, who's a third-choice left-back. Mario Viskovic from Hajduk Split. £4.5 million over 3 years. He is our other centre-back now. He joins Gujic, I think it's Gujic, isn't it? Adnan, anyway, in our centre-back 2. Excellent option. Angelo Maric, sorry. And then we got in Mitchell Bakker. Now, this guy is our new main wing-back on the left. The reason being he's the main wing-back and not the other dude, Kugo, is because there is a certain amount of foreign players you're allowed in the team at any given time. We're only allowed a maximum of 3 non-EU squad players in the squad, so having him about is very useful. He's just as good. He cost me 1.5 over 3 years again. Lucas Cott, we're going to come back to in a second. I want to show you Gilberto from Santa Cruz for £2,100. This is like literally £2,000. 19 years old. Decent potential ability. Current ability is okay. We've got him listed for loan. He does come under the foreign non-EU player, but I just thought he was worth picking up because he is worth picking up. And finally, probably one of my favourite signings I think I've ever made. Not quite Maric levels, but for £1.3 million over 3 years, Lucas Cott from Rijeka. Look at this 17-year-old striker. Look at him. He is superb. I am very impressed with him. Determination of 13, teamwork of 20, work rate of 16. It's fairly decent physicals, needs to work, but he's only 17. Finishing a little bit low, but his composure is 15. He's going to be superb. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is going to be a superb striker. He's only scored 1 goal for us so far, and that was in the Cup, but it's going to take time. We're developing his weaker foot, so we should see him improve. We are going to get into a game, and I'm aware this is probably going to be a longer episode than normal for us, but, you know, it happens. We are going to get into a game. We're going to go with the first team, I think. So when is our next game after this? We got this game here, and then it's... Yeah, so we've got a week, more or less, before the Maribor game. So we're going to go with the first team. We're going to try and get ourselves a win. We're going to try and keep up on the winning streak. And, yeah, we'll catch up in the game in a second. So, they look like they're coming out in a 4-3-3. A couple of width players there, Setanov and Solev. Yordanov, I don't know anything about. I don't know if it's going to show me anything here. Let's have a look at Tomislav Yordanov. I don't think we've got to worry too much about. But yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead against these guys. We've got our decent players on the bench. We're going to use Petkov and Hristov. Oh, by the way, Hristov, look at him. He was here. He's a product of our youth team. 19 years old. Fantastic. Let's get into it. So, getting aggressive on. Show the critics they're wrong. Now, I'm kind of in the bad books of the players at the moment. So we need to try and get the wins and have them start believing in me. Everything else is decent, but we do need them to start believing in me. So, let's go for it. Okay, first highlight, Zemlyarsky with the free kick. Cleared by Maric, and here comes the counter-attack. Here's Hristov. I'm hoping he's going to get some support with him. He does beat a couple of defenders. He's going to take it on himself, and he slams it down the keeper's throat. As you do. Yurakov, this is only the second highlight. Yurakov gives it away. Paniatovic plays it out to Heitor. Heitor gets a cross in, and Petkov messes it up. This is terrible. That's terrible. Okay, so half-time. We've had a lot of chances, just not many highlights. It is unfortunate. Now, I'm hoping that we're going to come in with a strong second half, a very strong second half. I'm going to bollock them. We're going to really jeeve them up as much as we can, because Selo, I don't know much about Bulgarian football. They're one position below us. We're told we're going to be expecting a tight win. We are expecting a win for us. So yeah, we need to bollock them and get them G'd up. Okay, first highlight, second half. Heitor with the corner, and Paniatovic sends it over the top. Okay, so we're going to make some substitutions here. Heitor for Makris. Mitchell Bakker not playing particularly well. We're going to bring on Ayrton Kugo as well. So we're going to replace both wing backs, and hopefully we'll see some better service for the strikers. In fact, what we might very quickly do is change it so we're hitting the early crosses and whipping them in. We might be able to see a bit more out of that. Okay, Kugo finds Yankov. Kugo again, tries to cross. Yurikov picks up the loose ball. Plays it to Diaz, to Paniatovic, out to Kugo. Here comes the cross. And there's no one on the end of it. Paniatovic plays it to Makris. And Hristov is offside. That is unfortunate. Let's take Hristov off. We're going to bring on Lucas Kopp, the youngster. Okay, final highlight of the game. Kugo with the corner. Gets cleared to Petkov. So, back to Yankov. This is our last chance to try and salvage a win from this game. Yurikov plays it centrally to Yakov. Out wide to Makris. Cross, little cross. Petkov sticks it wide. God damn it. And that is a draw. That is unfortunate. We dominated that game. 52% possession to 48 is not huge, but the shots on target, we had clear-cut chance. Not brilliant. Not brilliant to say the least. I'm going to give the team what for. I need them to know that we need to do better than a draw against this team. There are two teams we should be struggling against. One is Ludogorets and one is CSKA. We should not be struggling against Cello. Now, Cello do jump ahead of us somehow. I don't know what it is. We do have a game in hand. We are on 17 points. So if we win our game in hand, potentially we go to second. Sofia have got a game in hand over us, and they're currently 4 points clear. So yeah, it could be interesting. We're gonna have a quick word with Hristov because he's not scored for quite a while. So if you want to know how to do this, you go to interaction. You go to warm player, criticize recent form. There's literally one here for scoring. I know you haven't scored many recently. I have every faith to get back to scoring ways. So we're going to give him that. He knows he needs to do better. And there we are. Hopefully we'll see a bit more from him over the next few days. But yes, that is going to be it. So, thank you very much for joining me. You're better off joining me over on Twitch, however. Obviously, you can keep updated on here, but Twitch is the best place to keep up with this save live. We've got a fantastic community over there. Very decent-sized community as well. It's not so big that you're going to get lost in the ether, in the chatter. I do have a very good record of responding to people. So, if you've got any questions and you want to ask me, go for it. Come and join me over on Twitch. Description's down below. My Twitter's down there. My Discord's down there. It is the best place to be. And yes, I'll see you when I see you. Take it easy, folks. Bye-bye.